All right, we'll go ahead and get started. We'd like to welcome Collin Morikawa to the Media Center for the 2023 ZOZO Championship. Collin, you're making your fifth start here. Can you just open up with some thoughts about returning to Acquíi and Arashino?
Yeah, look, I love coming back to Japan, whether it's for golf or for fun vacation time. It's one of my favorite places in the world to be. I will never forget the first time in 2019 stepping on the first tee when people were lining the first hole, 5 people deep, just ready to watch some golf. So it's exciting to come back here every year and to see the fans just get more, pumped up and enthusiastic for us to come out here and play some great golf.
This is your first start back on the PGA Tour since the Ryder Cup and Tour Championship before that. Can you just reflect on how you spent your time off and maybe a little bit about the season?
Yeah, I've definitely enjoyed some time off. We've not necessarily gone on vacation, but just being home for more than a week has been really, really nice to spend time in my own bed. But it's been, traveling around the world. Obviously, we were in Rome a few weeks ago, Japan now. We're going to do a trip in Asia, my wife and I, for a couple weeks after this. So a lot of traveling, but a lot of enjoyment time with the people I love. And if I look back at this season, obviously, and we're still in this season, but at the end of the day, I want to win, and I just haven't been able to close that out yet and finish that off. And here's one last chance for the season to kind of come off and finish off on a high note. So I know what my goal is, and I know what I want to do and accomplish this week is really just stand up and find a way to win.
As you returned here to Acquíi, you've had a chance to play the golf course. Can you just share some impressions so far?
Yeah, the fairways are definitely firmer. I had a little bit of rain this past weekend on Sunday, but other than that, the fairways are much firmer than we've ever seen. So we're going to see a lot of different, maybe tee shots, different clubs off tees for a few holes, but the greens are very soft right now. The greens are very receptive. You got a lot of spin, so I think guys are going to be playing fairly aggressive. There's going to be a lot of birdies being made out here with, even a 6-iron in the hand because they're able to stop the ball. So, it's make sure, start off, get in the fairway, and then from there you can kind of attack some pins.
You touched on this a little bit already, but when you talk about the fairways being lined with the fans here, can you talk about, the Japanese fans and how supportive they are and playing in front of them, what that's like? Oh,
I love playing in front of the Japanese fans. They're very respectful, but they enjoy the game. Sometimes they clap, maybe on some bad shots that I might be pissed, but at the end of the day, they're enjoying it. And by them doing that, it shows their love and their passion for the game. And it truly is shown, and you can see that as a player when you're walking down the fairways. So it's exciting because when you are playing well, they do enjoy it even more. They really cheer you on, and that's what you want to hear. You want to hear the fans kind of react to the shots you're hitting.
A couple more, and then we'll turn it over to questions from the media. I'm sure being here gives you some memories about being here for Tokyo with the Olympic Games. Do you have any mindset going into 2024 thinking about Paris?
I've got a lot of work to do. I'm kind of behind the 8 ball right now. Obviously, there's a little bit of time to make that team, and obviously we have a lot of golf tournaments left. But yeah, there's a lot of motivation. That's going to be definitely one of my goals, starting essentially now up until roughly June when the teams are made, because I know how special that moment is, and I'll always be an Olympian. But to make it again and to make it every 4 years. That's absolutely a goal. It just shows your kind of testament to how good of a golf you can continue to play over a long period of time. And I think you ask any professional golfer, that's what they want to do. So being able to represent your country amongst one of the biggest stages in the world and one of the biggest sporting events in the world, it's an absolute honor. And, losing out on that playoff, I'm also never going to forget that either. So.
And then last question. It was announced today that Netflix is going to have its first ever live sporting event, the Netflix Cup, with athletes featured from F1 and the PGA Tour in full swing in a match play tournament in Las Vegas, and you'll be a participant. Can you talk about your excitement for that?
Oh my God, I'm thrilled. Obviously, I was watching Drive to Survive, I think, when everyone else was, kind of COVID era, and then everyone started getting involved in that, and I love waking up on Sundays to watch the races now, and just to be a part of this live Netflix event and be a part with 3 other professional golfers, Max, Justin, and Ricky, and then 4 other drivers, and just to make this an event. I think we've seen these matches kind of coexist amongst all of our schedules over the past handful of years, and I think this is going to be a great event to kind of tie in the actual F1 race for that week in Vegas. And yeah, I don't know what to expect, but I know it's going to be a lot of fun. You're going to see a lot of people out there, and hopefully we put on a good show.
All right, we'll go ahead and open it up to questions. If you can raise your hand and wait for a microphone, we can get started. Matt?
Hey, Collin. Just kind of reflecting on the season, I remember talking to you in Detroit, saying you found something specific, same in Atlanta. Now that you've kind of had some chance to look back on it as a whole and maybe not be in it week to week, what are your thoughts on how this season has gone?
Yeah, I mean, that's part of professional golf is you think you have it for 1 week or you think you have it for a day and you hope that extends over the longest period of time. Unfortunately, you know, it's been week to week. It's kind of been on a week-to-week basis. So when I look back, it's, you know, did I really find the answer? Not quite, you know, because if I did, you would see maybe a month period of good golf or like a little longer period. And I think when you look at my when I have been winning and, you know, my good little stints, it's been longer than a week. So, you know, look, at the end of the day, any one of us out here on the PGA Tour, if you're good enough to make it out here, you can have a good week, but that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a lot of consistency and then peaking at those right times to kind of come out with those wins. So we're still in search. We're working on a few things to hopefully be that right recipe for success. But it all comes with an understanding of just kind of what has worked and how do you kind of build those foundation blocks again.
And then I saw on social that you and the missus had a chance to have a pretty special dinner the other night. Just wanted to get your thoughts on that experience.
Yeah. Man, I almost don't want to have sushi again because it was that special. You know, Chef Jiro was actually making the sushi for us, which made it even that much more special. But just being able to get that reservation, going there, sitting down, it is a short period of time. You know, you have about 30 minutes to eat the food. But, man, I don't know how to explain it other than it just being an incredible experience and an honor to be there sitting in front of him and witnessing just talent, right? It's artwork. And I think you can look at that. Anyone that has a true passion for something that they really love to do, you can see art. You can see that artwork they produce. And that's what it was. We were very, very lucky. And I was amazed how full I was actually. Normally I don't get full in 30 minutes, but it was very, very special.
Any questions? Oh, right here.
Is there any frustration from the Ryder Cup carried over coming in this tournament?
Nothing's carried over. I mean, look, the Ryder Cup was what it was, and that's, you know, the final result. But, you know, for me, being my first one over there on European soil and playing against them and obviously having a pretty big loss, I think there's things to learn. You know, I think there's things to take into whether it's future Ryder Cups or even just regular tournaments. You know, I think you learn a lot in those team events on just who you are as a person, how you play golf. Look, 2 years ago when we played really well at Whistling Straits, you know, you could use that momentum. You know, I'm not going to use momentum from a loss, but I can learn from a loss and take that into, you know, whether it's this week or next week or whatever it may be, and just kind of learn from it. But there's no there's no lingering anger from losing at a Ryder Cup into coming into a week like this. You know, they're two different things. One's a team event, and this is, you know, normal individual golf.
Any others? All right, we'll let you go. Thanks for joining us. Good luck this week.